Hello, my name is Zhatelier, welcome back to another episode of The Last Kingdom in Aurora, and well, in previous episode we managed to research the nuclear pulse engine technology, and we designed the new engines. Skipped a little bit ahead, I don't think we've gotten any of the actual engines researched quite yet. We're going to get one in 9 days, more or less, so in about 2 build cycles. But I'm bringing you back because, first of all, if we have a look at the galactic map over here a little bit. So from Turfing, where is the colony that we are currently building up for the Hand of the King? Well, we explored both of the jump points that we found from there, and now the second one over here is bloody massive again. Like, this planet is about, what, 400 billion kilometers, actually more than that. It's like 470, roughly speaking, billion kilometers away from the center. So, well, actually, I don't think we were measuring to the center. We were measuring to the vessel that we have here. But the innermost planets seem actually rather interesting. So the first 4, there's 3 terrestrial planets, all of which have a colony cost of 2, partially because of various temperature issues or just lack of proper atmosphere. All of them have water, so that is quite interesting. There's a lot of methane over there, so that's not great, to be fair. But yeah, and then there's the... actually, number 4 is still terrestrial planet, but then there's a gas giant over there. But this might be interesting. The population caps are okay-ish. And they're not great, but they're not terrible either. So they're a relatively small planet, but that means... oh, small planets, but that means that they will be easier to terraform. So that should be alright. But yeah, this is going to be rather interesting to see what we find here. Is that... where's the gas... oh, the gas giant is actually pretty far away. I think if we measure it to the center, it's about 26-27 billion kilometers. So yeah, it's a bit far away. Luckily we are about to get the better engines, but I'm not entirely sure if that's going to increase the range of our vessels much, or the survey vessels all that much, because we did increase the power percentage a little bit. It's still not particularly great, but it will also increase the speed that we can move, so we might be able to lower the deployment time a little bit, which will give us a bit more room for more fuel. And of course, our fuel reserves are slowly going down. Not massive speed for that, but it is going down. Actually, we still need to close that. And I was going to check if we have the fleet over here. No, it's not under training right now, so we'll place it down there again. I mean, the one of the corvettes is almost full training once more, so that's good. But anyway, let's keep on going, shall we? We should be getting the engine tech. There we go. Right, so we can now design our next... not that, the Seeker. So we'll copy that class, rename that into Seeker 3, or Mark 3. And let's switch around the engine to nuclear pulse engines. Right, with the more power we actually don't... right, we could probably lower the deployment time. Let's go for half a year. We can maybe increase the fuel capacity a little bit, because that would be exactly 5,000 tons again. So how much? That's 38 billion. It actually drops the range quite a bit. It does increase the speed, but if we can get some tankers, I suppose. Oh, how much is that? Even the 6 months is probably too much. If we lower that to 5 months, how much would that give us again? Another... well, actually, get these away. They're in a fuel storage. That is, again, full. I suppose, technically, we could lower the maintenance life a tiny bit. Not sure if that would actually give us the range that we require. That would be about 40 billion right now. Again, it's a bit small, but it doesn't take too long. Of course, that does mean that we'll be using the power rather quickly. I'm not entirely sure about this. I mean, technically, the EM sensors we might not require. The thermal sensors is certainly something that we do want to have. We're going to have 1 layer of armor. We can't really get rid of any more of that. We can't get rid of the sensor, so there's not much that we can shave off right now until we get better armor tech, for example. So let's actually... How about we have a look at the engine... If we were to do a different type of engine. Go for 20 again. If we go for, say... how much did we have on the previous one? 80%. If we go back for 70... Well... If we go for 75%, that would have us with 2400 kilometers per second speed. It's not great. I suppose we could have two variants again. Well, the different engines do cost so much more that it's probably not buildable from the same shipyard, actually. But let's create a prototype real quick. So if we had at 75%, we need to refresh the tech and show prototypes. So let's say we had these, which have over 70 billion kilometer range, but of course then need to increase the deployment time to probably about a year, which would actually be a bit too much. We can lower that a tiny bit there. How much is that? That's 10 tons, so if we were to lower that to a tiny maintenance storage, that would still give us a bit extra maintenance points, although it is getting more and more risky, especially with the deployment time being so high. It means that probably be using a lot, pretty much all the time, really. It would be 65 billion kilometer range. It would still be faster. At this point, this might actually be the better option, now that I think of it. It's just the ranges are getting longer. Of course, one thing that we could do is just get more tankers so that they can go and refuel a bit closer. Honestly, that's not a terrible idea either. We don't have massive fuel storage quite yet though, so that's something that we need to start working towards. We are getting the thorium harvester component though, so we can then start making the thorium harvesting platforms and start getting some fuel that way. But yeah, we do need to figure out a few things to do. Also, is there... What's the difference between these two? I made the copy, but I... Hold on, there's a bit different fuel in there. Oh, right. Yeah, on this one we didn't have the very large one, or very large fuel tankers, so it lowers the cost a tiny bit. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I'm kind of tempted to actually do this one. It still increases the speed, increases the range so much that it's probably for the best. It gives the deployment time quite a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna rename the components. I'll just go with this regular stuff, so NPE. So we basically wasted some research time there, which is a bit unfortunate. That was my mistake. And what, 120 engine power. And how much does it use fuel? 33.1. Oh, where did it... Okay, so that would actually be quite massive well, not massive saving compared to that one. It's still saving fuel. Also increases speed. Okay, so we'll rename that. And then we'll start researching the prototype, and we might want to switch that to the top of the queue. We are going to get the commercial engine. So, where's that? 700, or not 700, 450 points. It's not massive amount, so it's going to put us back by a few months. But I think saving the fuel is good, because we are increasing our capacity quite a bit. We haven't been increasing our fuel production quite yet. So we definitely need to be working on that for the most part. Now, I didn't change the name of this one, unfortunately. Well, we can change the name of the component once more. That's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, it's 3 months that it's going to put us back. Well, we're going to get the commercial engine in about 1.5 months. 50 days more or less. Now, oh wow, the survey... Okay. But yeah, actually, I think increasing this deployment time for the ships is going to be quite handy. Also, civilian construction. I'm just going to quickly check the... So how much is the annual failure rate? Is a bit small. I was wondering, could I maybe lower the fuel a tiny bit? Not necessarily. I mean, these are only 1 ton each. If I want to get a... Actually... Fighter engineering, well, that would be 5 tons, so though that's not an option. And that's 5. Well... Like, I'd like to lower the annual failure rate a tiny bit. I'm not entirely sure how much I could do about that. Let's try this, though. Fighter engineering space. Annual failure rate would go down by 5% there. Actually, that's not bad. The MSP would, on the other hand, go down quite a bit as well. Can we get fighter maintenance storage? So that's 3 tons. Okay, well, let's say if we get rid of that one, can we get 2 of these? We could. Although I'm not entirely sure if that's actually better than... No, it shouldn't be better than having just 1 of these. It's exactly the same, except different cost, isn't it? Well, that's a quarter and a tiny is half, so... Does save a little bit of tonnage with that, okay. Right, well... So there's not really that much that we can do in here to lower the size, unless... Let's see, if we take rid of those 2, can we get a fighter maintenance storage in here? We could. That'll give us 188 maintenance supply points. That's a bit extra, I suppose. Well, I think that's actually going to be the better option over here. We're going to lower the... Well, it's not even lowering the range all that much. Still got 2 large fuel storages. So 500,000 liters, but yeah, 65 billion kilometer range helps a lot, especially the further away we're going from our colonies here. So yeah, we'll go with that. That will do. Not gonna bother with all... worry about that for the time being anyway. Oh, and the faithful survey vessel is heading back home. It's having rather low fuel, so it's gonna cut it rather close. Which is why I want to start upgrading those survey vessels as soon as possible, so that they will have the range that they need. Deployment time exceeded on the... Oh, yeah. Well, it is already within the system. We got a tug on standby if need be. I'm pretty sure that it can get home. Deployment time exceeded on the... Oh, right. Well, the House Romanov's survey vessel is already heading back, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's gonna get so close. Is it gonna get home? Nope. Alright then, well, Tug 1. Where is... There you are. Why don't you go and... to the survey fleet? Over there and... Fracture ship. Go over there and release tractor ship. That should do it. Okay, let's see. Do they start fueling? I believe they... Oh, right, they lost their orders, didn't they? So where is the... Is it still on the taco blade then? Or did it not get sent it? Okay, what happened there? You should be releasing tractor ships over there. Are you actually going to move or not? Well, it took 17 hours. I believe they have moved. So target... No, now it should be the Seeker on its own here. Right, we need to just assign it under the correct area again. Okay, this is the problem. I'm just going to assign you the Romanov survey and then move you further down. Having this many admin commands makes things a little bit difficult. Suppose I can just minimize the commoner skill stuff, because we haven't been using them yet. Right, so you are okay over there. And I think what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to have this be the first one to be refitted, just so that it can then go to the system that it's been in. So why don't you refuel and resupply and then begin overhaul? That's going to probably take some time. We'll need to rename you at some point. Research completed. We got the commercial engine. We started on the new server engine. So how much is that going to be? Well, how long will it take? It's going to be done in May. Okay, it's a bit longer than I hoped for. I suppose what I could do... Well, we do need a thorium harvester. I don't want to delay that. I don't want to delay the troop transport or the underway replenishment. So as the EM sensitivity is going to have to... Or maybe the course cannon fire. We don't need the course cannons that quickly yet. I'm going to increase the research for the engines. I mean, we do need to get all the engine techs anyway quickly, so let's focus that a little bit more. Oh, and the Hornets have exceeded their deployment times. So you can be put on under the Royal Fleet, and it's 89% training on the first one, and on the second one is 48, so that's pretty good. I suppose I should probably rename this fleet. There we go. That's going to be set up. I'm not going to give the standing orders quite yet. I'm going to let it stay here for the time being. That's going to save us a little bit of fuel, and then once we refit that, or wait, I'm actually not entirely sure if we can refit that or not, because the engine text, or the engines being switched around, may cause quite a bit of expenditure compared to the total cost. But if we need be, we can just scrap that and build the next one. Without too much hassle, hopefully. Let me actually have a look at that. If we compare the prices here, so that's 514 essentially, and that's 505. Now, most of the things that we changed is just the engines there, to be fair. That should be okay. Well, the armor didn't change, most of the other didn't change. A little bit less fuel in total. And the engine tech switch around, so there's actually 2 crew members less, and actually a tiny bit more maintenance supply points. No, actually, this one does have more maintenance supply points in total. Oh, right, we switched to smaller maintenance supply storages. Right, that makes sense. Okay, but it's not all bad, I'd say. Oh, right, because we increased the deployment time, that makes sense. So there's going to be crew quarters a bit extra. Surely you complete it on the Hornets, good. What is not possible? DU survey 1. So are you need to do your overhaul, and you're not going to do that on your own because you just got back home quickly enough. So I'll give you the orders to do that. We should be able to get through this relatively quickly. Oh, and gravitation sensor on... Oh, it's the Hand of the King's survey vessel number 2. It was the survey sensor that... Ooh. Yeah, you are quite a bit over your supply... Okay, so all the deployment time. What you're going to do over there is you're going to resupply and then begin overhaul. Should be able to get home though, so that's not really the problem. Highway, or the jump gate at the Barracuda is going to be completed rather soon. At that point, we need to start figuring out where to send the... Actually, we might want to get... So, if we think about this, we got the tenders on that, and that bit there, then one on there, and I don't remember where's the other one. Is it over here? Naval Forces... Oh yeah, it is, over there. So we can get to Mimung on our own. I suppose I could move the jump tenders from the Barracuda Blutgang jump point, at least the commercial one, to the Mimung system to get to the SK. Because that seems to have pretty good stuff in there. Right, well. Still need to get the gate construction, of course. There we go, orders completed. So now you can move to the turfing. You're gonna stabilize a jump point, transit through there, and stabilize a jump point on this side. That should be alright. That will, of course. Ooh, and the exploration vessel. I should be fairly close. I can't. Oh, right there. Okay, we should be able to get home. There we go. And start doing all the tasks given to it. Do we have actually any survey vessels other than the... Well, that's under overhaul, that's under overhaul, that's under overhaul. So we got quite a few survey vessels here, just not doing much. Fuel reserves are still rather stable, so that's good. Once we get the better engines, that's going to improve the situation a little bit. And it is still faster vessels, so it's still an upgrade. They're not particularly quick though, so I'm not expecting them to survive any potential enemies. Deployment time exceeded on... Oh, B survey 1, okay. Well, it is heading home already. And did we find anything in the... Kursang? Well, we didn't explore any of the... or survey any of the... Let's put minerals for the asteroids as well. Okay, so we didn't find any minerals there yet. This might be... Oh, we did actually find a... jump point there. Interesting. To look at that in a little bit. That where exactly is it? We have been bringing in a little bit more colonists into the colony here. But once we get the highway completed, then the civilians should be starting to bring in stuff here as well. Eventually. And that will allow this place to grow quite nicely, I think. And we've got shipbuilding, population growth, and political reliability on the governor here. Alright then. Over here we've got 37 million already. I think at this point we're going to change this as a stable location for the time being. It will still keep on growing, so they can keep bringing in some infrastructure here. How much do we actually have extra infrastructure in here? Okay, 1400. Yep, that should be plenty to get this colony started. At least to get to a few million. We could have up to 500,000 people now, and we don't quite have the workers there. Oh wait, is the cargo one yet home? I don't see it on the list there. So I reckon they probably are not. Where is cargo one? Oh, you are returning. You've got another 2.5 months of your trip remaining though. Okay, so now that we got the engine, let's have a look at the ship. Because it didn't change the name of the research, but it did change the name of the components. So now this is technically constructible. Let's actually have a look. Can we make it from the same shipyard? I doubt we can. But if we could... Nope, so we need to retool. That's alright. So... it's going to be done in July. That's not that bad. We'll set that activity. After we've done that, we might add in a second sleepaway for this shipyard. And then let's actually... Well, no, we started on the capacitor recharge rate. After that, we'll get the military engines. That should be alright. Oh, right, now that we got the commercial engines, didn't we get those already? Just making sure that we do... Yes, we did. Okay, so we can technically obsolete that component. Maybe obsolete that component. I'm not going to obsolete the 95% one. It can still be useful. Not necessarily as useful as possible, but it might be good for something military support vessel type thingy. Right, anyway, if we have a look at the cargo ships here again. Let's copy this class, rename it to Mark III. I do apologize for any marks reviewing these episodes. I'm calling out your name quite often here. Right, so let's get rid of these. Actually, that's going to give us a bit extra room, because these are not as... well, don't take as much crew. But actually, we seem to be out of time for this episode. I'll do these new commercial designs between the episodes here. I'll probably start designing our first tanker design as well. Not necessarily as big as the other ones, but we'll see. But anyway, if you did enjoy this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.